and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 176. Alright, we are jumping back into the psychic book, and I really need to go back and figure out all of the episodes that I've done the psychic book in, so that way if you wanted to listen to it, then you can just go and listen to all those episodes. I've even kind of wondered if maybe I should, maybe make like little extra bonus episodes with sections of the book. It's just a thought. Let me know if that is something you would like. But anyhow, let's get into it. It's lesson time. Today's psychic lesson is add some love. Love is a very powerful emotion that you can use to help you solidify your connection to your belief. First, think of something or someone that represents unconditional love. It might be a person, an animal, or an action, such as simply helping someone. It may be a feeling that you have not had often in your life, or one that you experience every day. Imagine that the force in the universe that watches over you represents the feeling of unconditional love. That love is not judgmental. It is just there to support you. It also represents a powerful force whose purpose is to stand guard over your fears. Now try adding the feeling of love to your third eye connection. Take a deep breath and feel yourself shifting your focus to your third eye. As you breathe in and out, feel unconditional love flowing through your body. Feel the protective strength that goes with that love. When you are ready, change your focus back to your conscious mind, returning with the positive feeling of that unconditional love that is watching over you. I kind of wanted to keep reading on this one, but I just kind of stop at little segments of things, but the next one seems pretty good. So this kind of closes out that little segment, but then the next one is, even better. It keeps building on each little time I read from the book, and it's just really great. So I hope you like it, and let's go ahead and move on to stories.
This comes from Rezzekes on Reddit.
To start, I do not believe in ghosts. And this is my very first experience that I cannot really explain. I thought I'd share. I'm quite excited. It happened minutes ago. I am currently in a modern hotel in Naha, Okinawa on the last day of our trip. It is damn hot and humid here, so the AC is on full blast and above where it happened. We were watching TV when I heard something drop. I looked back, and a box of pain medication was lying roughly a meter from the table it had been on. We placed it back, and we tested. There was a chair half under the table, and unless we really hit the thing with force, it would always fall on the chair first. Really bizarre. AC could not have done that, and no one was in that corner of the room. This is the only thing that happened. Besides someone in our group reporting insanely weird dreams about fake angels bringing messages. None of us believe in the paranormal. Strange, huh? We did a test and put it back on the table with a card in front of it, lined up with the side of the table, to check if anything would happen to it while sleeping. Nothing else happened. Sadly leaving the island now, but damn, I am really confused by the incident. How bizarre. How bizarre. And if you don't get that reference, then I am too freaking old. Anyhow, I love that no one in this group believes in the paranormal, yet they have two kind of weird experiences happen. I want to touch on the dreams because I have had weird dreams my entire life. As I've gotten older, they haven't really gone away, but I have noticed an odd trend, I will say, just maybe like the past couple months or so, where if I eat super late and certain foods, I have have really intense dreams. Now, I will say that that's not always the case. I can have intense dreams and not eat before bed. Like, it just happens. But I will notice that if I do happen to eat foods that typically upset my stomach. So I don't know if maybe that was the case for this person, because if they've never had crazy dreams before, then maybe. But then also, I just like that this box of pain medication was just chilling, and you know that it was just chilling there a while, because I mean, who's really going over there just to mess with some pain medication? You know what I mean? If everybody's just sitting there hanging out, watching TV, trying to stay cool probably, and then all of a sudden this pain medication just falls to the floor, but like where it shouldn't fall, it's kind of interesting. And my first thought was the AC, because it's air and it's blowing, duh. But they tested that and they said that it couldn't have been the AC because it would have had to be forceful. So it's kind of interesting. And I do really appreciate them trying to test and figure it out, because hey, that makes you a really great ghost hunter right there, just so you know. But I will say, what if the hotel is just haunted, or it was visited or whatever, and whatever spirit was like, you don't need this pain medication? But not necessarily in like a mean way, just in like a, they don't think you should be taking it type of thing. I don't know. That's the only thing I can come up with, because why is the pain medication being knocked to the floor? It's just random. But also the fake angels bringing messages in the dreams. I'm jumping back to that now, because what are the messages? What are the messages? Are they saying, hey, please don't take this medication, you don't need it? I don't know. My brain is now thinking of questions. And this happens to me every time. Sometimes I have questions after I've read the story the first time, but then when I actually read it aloud, I'm like, okay, here are all my questions. What were the dreams about? What kind of pain medication? Who was taking said pain medication? Was it the person who was having their weird dreams? Because if so, then maybe the pain medication is making them have weird dreams. Now, it could also just be like Tylenol or ibuprofen. That's pain medication, and whoop-de-doo. I don't really know if that messes with people's minds, but I'm sure there are a few people out there who it probably happens to, because not everything is perfect for everyone. Let's be so real. But maybe in the off chance it is a haunted hotel and the spirit did not like the pain medication, and then the person taking the pain medication was having these weird dreams. Again, I need to know who's having the dreams. I am really, really stretching it here. So those are my questions. If I could get some answers, that would be cool. But either way, again, I appreciate that you try to debunk this. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
This comes from potential_gap8902 on Reddit.
I was about 15 when this happened and had always been a skeptic on the paranormal. But since then, I have been 100% believer in the paranormal. My family and I tend to rent houses in the south of France for vacations, and that's what we did for that year's summer break. I saw it myself on the website. It looked really gorgeous. You know, old French house in a small village. The people who were going were me, my brother, parents, and grandparents. As we arrived to the house, we realized that it must have been some old religious house before becoming an actual home. We were told it was built somewhere in the 17 to 1800s and placed next to an old church, like right up against it. As soon as we entered, I got this very eerie and heavy feeling. The vibes felt completely disconnected from the rest of the town. But I obviously didn't say anything. Why would I? The house consisted of 3 floors, but we were told the 3rd floor was private and closed off, which was a bit weird, but whatever. There were 4 rooms, so I got my own room. And as much as I hate to admit, I was terrified of sleeping alone in that room. I asked my brother if he could sleep in the other bed, but obviously he said no, like any big brother would. So my mom ended up sleeping with me in there. However, she would go back to her own room once I was asleep. The actual experience happened on, I believe, the 3rd day. My mom had slept in the spare bed in my room, and I in the bed I did all the other days. My bed was placed in a little nook with a kind of curtain I had closed so it felt more cozy. I fell asleep but ended up waking up in the middle of the night. I'm usually a very heavy sleeper and never wake at night. As soon as I woke up, I heard these footsteps. It sounded like bare feet running across the woven carpet in my room. They started at the foot of my bed and ran out the door in the hallway, where they disappeared. At this time, I believed it was my mom who had went back to her bedroom. So I quickly got up and walked to the other end of the hallway, where my mom would have slept. My grandparents, who slept in the room across from me, were dead asleep, and so was my brother. As soon as I walked into my parents' bedroom, I realized that so is my mom. No one had been awake. My mom must have left the room hours ago. The morning after, I asked everyone and they all denied this happening, at least for now. I was spooked the rest of the trip, but did not experience this again. However, the day we had to leave and I was packing, I looked at my nightstand. I had brought a little angel figurine made of rose quartz for protection, but now the figurine was broken, almost like it was sliced down the middle. Months after, I talked to my mom, who tells me she had been terrified of the house as well and had felt the same weird energy. So had my brother. She even mentioned that when she slept in my room, she had woken up to the feeling of someone watching her, just like I had. To this day, I get goosebumps thinking about everything that happened. I think something in that house disliked us staying there, and based off the broken crystal, I do not think it was something nice. Okay, my brain is on one today, and all I can think of is Fraaance! And I just lost all of my French listeners, so I am so sorry. But also my brain went to, and on the third day. Oh man, and if you get any of these references, comment them below because, oh my god, my brain can't get it together. But it does that because this was spooky. I mean, really, if you're walking in and you feel the vibes are off, more than likely you're right. You should always trust your gut on those things. But like, I know nothing about the south of France, and the only thing that I can think of is like, this place that you're renting is either like an old priest house if it's butting up next to a church, or maybe it was an orphanage, because why are there bare feet running? You know, I don't know. But clearly something did not want you there because they were trying to scare you. And I think maybe your little crystal helped you out. And I know some of you are going to be like, man, that's stupid. Well, rose quartz is for protection. And typically once a rose quartz like breaks or just kind of disappears, it's done its job. So maybe, or maybe it had a hairline fracture that you didn't see and it broke somehow while you were there. I mean, I can be logical about things too, but what unnerves me the most is like, what if it's not even a spirit? What if it's a human? Because why is the third floor locked? I know they said it's private and whatnot, but those things freak me out. And I know that sounds really stupid because you're renting somebody's house and they are allowed to lock any of the rooms that they want to. But my God, that is the start of a freaking horror movie right there. So what if it was an actual human being running away because they were creeping on you? I doubt it, but every time I go and I stay in an Airbnb or whatever, I tend to check every single room, and I even try the locked doors because my brain runs to worst case scenario. So I'm sorry if I've stayed in your Airbnb and I've been in rooms that maybe I shouldn't have been, but that's just because I'm literally just checking it out. I'm checking it out for my own safety. But if I shouldn't have been in there, then the door should have been locked. But either way, this is spooky, and now I'm kind of more afraid of people, as I always am, than spirits. Either way, it's one of the two, or it was a hallucination. I mean, it's an old place. So who knows? It could just be a spirit who resides there still. And I don't know why, but the bare feet on the floor, it feels like a child to me. And that's kind of silly, obviously, to assume anything really, but that's just how I see it. And so I don't know. This one definitely gave me a chill. And I like the fact that the mom and brother had the same feeling while they were there, but they didn't tell this person, which is silly. But I mean, you guys were leaving, so you might as well just say, yeah, I felt pretty freaking weird the whole time we were here. Like, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know below. If you have a story like either story today or any paranormal story in general, head on over to my website and submit it. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all. Oddballs, thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever podcast platform you listen on. If you have any comments for this episode, comment below or head over to Instagram and comment on this episode's preview. To submit a story or for more information, go to itsanoddworldafterall.com.